Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday, December 9th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. A Thursday morning and time for us to talk about Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat. We've got our usual two here this morning. Paul Tubbs, Dealer Operations Manager. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Ronnie Kelly, who's been selling cars at this location for 34, almost 35 years, I think. Good morning.
Good morning.
Which is it?
34 be 35 January 26th.
All right. I thought we were getting close. You had a good week?
Had a great week.
Yeah. All right. Well, Paul, what do you want to talk about this morning? Your golf game.
No, I don't want to talk about it. It's here and there, but cars right now are kind of here and there as well. New vehicles. We've had several customers come in the last few days, test drive our Broncos. We do have a couple of Broncos on the lot. We got a hard top that's a 2-door. We got a soft top that's a 4-door. Ford's taking reservations on them vehicles where if you can come drive one, then you can sit down with one of my sales force and design or put whatever options you want on it, and we can order it. I obviously got one on order that's not quite here yet. New vehicles, the same deal. Right now, we're every new vehicle we get in is moving pretty quick. We're getting them in about as soon as we get them in. A lot of times they're sold before.
A good turnover, I guess we'd call that. They don't sit there long.
No, that's one of the things, and I even seen something on the national news where they were talking about the chip shortage and this and that. The new vehicles, they generally hit our website a couple weeks before they hit the lot. So, when they start they release them from Ford and they'll be transported to the dealership. Well, Ford puts them on the website. Well, we have calls every day. Hey, I see an Expedition or F-150. Well, it's not quite here yet. Well, a lot of times we have customers coming in putting deposits on them vehicles, so when they get there, they're pretty much spoken for. So it's kind of unnamed times right now.
Yeah, we never heard of that years before, did we?
No, I can remember.
Down a deposit for one that hasn't arrived.
I mean, we used to keep 100, 125 new cars on our lot and probably 100 to 125 used. So we used to keep probably 250 vehicles on the lot, and now we've got 4 new and 100 used. Kind of odd times.
Times have changed.
Yes, sir.
But the way you sell hasn't changed a lot, has it?
It haven't changed a lot. Like Paul said, on the used ones, on the new ones, right now, we got several people that we order vehicles for that should be coming in, and we got some that, like Paul said, when they hit the website, I got customers right now that already have purchased, that put a deposit on those vehicles, and they know it may be 30 days, but they may call every other day, and they say, well, what about my vehicle? So, we're doing the best we can to keep them informed about those vehicles. But our used vehicles, we want to thank Paul and Mike and Joey for continuing to purchase those vehicles, because if they wasn't purchasing vehicles, we would be in a bad situation. But I think Paul purchased one on yesterday, and it's great that they're out there looking and stopping. And a lot of times, if Paul sees someone have something on the side of the road, he'll stop and ask them questions, and most of the time he'll buy them. So,
well, think about it. If anybody has a car that they're even thinking about getting rid of, now would be the time, would it not?
Yeah, and that's what's crazy too is I'm buying 75% of our cars off the street. People are coming in, and there's a guy that bought a truck a year and a half ago, and I gave him the exact dime that he spent on that truck when he bought it a year and a half ago. So he drove it for a year and a half for free. I mean, that's what people think. That's crazy. So 75% of my inventory right now I'm buying off the streets, meaning people. Me and Tony did another TV spot yesterday that airs on local channels where we say, hey, we'll be bringing it in, we'll give you a cash offer. You come in, we'll give you a cash offer. If you owe money, that's no big deal. We'll pay it off. If there's a difference, we'll mail you a check when we get the title. If you don't owe money, we'll go cut you a check right there on the spot. I bought 2 cars within 30 minutes yesterday. You bring them to us, we'll go drive them around the block, check them out, make sure there's no, whether it needs tires, scratches, dents, anything like that we might have to fix. But anything beyond that, we'll give you a cash offer right there on the spot.
Well, it didn't used to be this way, but the times have changed. Other things that you're doing, of course, cheapest oil change in town.
Yeah, we're staying swamped. I mean, yesterday we had 25 people in our waiting area just waiting there. Billy come in a couple times to get his car serviced, and And I said, come back at 1 o'clock. There's already 15, 20 people ahead of you. And he came back at 1 o'clock, and we got him in and out. You know, one thing about our service department is it stays so busy. The reason we're building a new facility, our service department's going to be 3 times the size of the one we have at our current location, because we just stay backed up and busy. And it's, you know, it's a good problem to have, but we've got to adapt to the times, and we're going to build a new facility to take care of that.
You look forward to that?
Looking forward to it. And right now, we want to continue. If you got anything you want to turn into cash, please bring it down to Bates Ford right now, because this is no gimmick. If you come down and bring your title, and you'll go away with a check.
Well, you don't want to leave without mentioning tires and batteries.
Right. We've had, you know, I had a friend of mine go up to AutoZone, call me the other day, his wife's vehicle. The battery was $185, and I said, hey, we've got them, and it's actually a guy I play golf with. I said, I got them. I sell them for $134. It's got twice the warranty. Tires right now, we meet or beat anybody's price on tires. There's $140 rebates on certain tires. Some tires has got as low as $100 rebates, so we've got all kinds of deals going on tires as well.
All right, well, it's all waiting for you there. 1673 West Main, Bates Ford, the dealer. It'll trade for anything you don't eat. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next Thursday.
See you.
Thank you.
All right. Paul Tubbs, Ronnie Kelly, Bates Ford, and we're 10 minutes after the hour. I have 2 guests this morning that have come from the, well, one of them's from the city of Lebanon anyway. I want to, first of all, introduce Julie Carr, the Lebanon Gas Public Awareness. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you today. And Jason Kuba is with us this morning as well. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Jason is the Tennessee 811 area liaison.
Correct.
All right. Now we're gonna get into all of this, but I guess obviously we're going to be talking a little bit about gas this morning. And Julie, we can't mention the Lebanon Gas Department without mentioning Jerry Snodgrass. The late Jerry Snodgrass, who died, last May or June, I believe.
It's February.
We miss him, and no doubt you miss him. He was so knowledgeable about the gas department. I always enjoyed my interviews with him. Didn't have all that many, but he came out here several times, and just my way of saying we miss him this morning. But we welcome you.
Thank you.
And how are things with you?
The gas was just fantastic. We have a new manager now. I think you met him recently,
Right.
Chad Mueller. And we're constantly busy. This year alone, we've put in over 5 miles of gas distribution main. So just staying busy. Hit 10,000 active gas meters in October. So we are, the gas department is growing by leaps and bounds.
What is your main responsibility?
Well, I'm an administrative assistant, first and foremost, and then I also head up coordination of our public awareness program. So, which leads me to bring Jason Kuba, our 811 area liaison, in with us this morning. You know, with all the, actually, I think we're at about 285 miles of gas distribution main in total in the Lebanon-Wilson County area. And not just, that's just gas. So if you think about, you know, you've got water, sewer, telecommunication lines, all the buried utilities that we have. And it's just the importance of calling 811 before you dig. We have a lot of, just with our gas system, this year alone, more than a third of our line damages have been from people who just didn't call. So I have him here this morning to help educate.
This is important to you because that's downtime, or that's time your people could be doing something else instead of repairing what somebody tore up, I take it.
Correct.
Plus can be danger involved.
Safety issues,
Safety,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we have some timely information for you today, and I'm glad that Jason knows all about it. But that's your job, right?
That is our job at 811. We make sure that those utilities get marked when anybody's doing excavation.
Well, now, you were telling me there's been some new legislation, relatively new, that people might not be as much aware of, that I guess we want to get disseminated this morning, but probably just take an overall view and remind people of what their responsibilities are when they start digging. and that's just about anywhere, I guess, and especially around your home. So it's almost time for us to take a break, and rather than have to interrupt you after you get started here, let's go ahead and do that. We'll talk more with Jason and Julie in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got that regular oil change, $24.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're looking at this heavy traffic flow coming in from Rutherford County on 24 through the Hickory Hollow area. Lots of radar out here this morning. Still working that wreck with injuries at Firestone Parkway at Hale Quaker Boulevard. That's going to be South Nashville. It has the intersection completely tied up. Donut Distillery presents Boozin' with Buddy. Stop by their Christmas pop-up bar, fresh donuts, and so much more. Donut Distillery, 2 locations, 331 Gallatin Avenue, and inside the Assembly Food Hall. You can always log on to donutdistillery.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Hi, I'm Mark Hinesley, president of the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. What are your favorite small businesses or restaurants in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Watertown? TNCommunity.com can give you local places for all of your shopping needs this season.
Hi, I'm Melanie Minter, president and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce, and I invite everyone to visit the website TNCommunity.com. If you're a business in Wilson County, we want to promote you. If you're a consumer in Wilson County, we encourage you to shop, eat, and play all day, every day.
9 local banks join forces again by partnering with all 3 chambers and plan to execute the TN Community Initiative, encouraging you to shop small businesses.
Please choose which participating businesses you want to support. Check out Shop, Eat, and Play businesses in Lebanon,
Mount Juliet,
and Watertown.
Every business was a small business. Let's support our community by coming together to support our friends and neighbors. Pick up your bucks at any participating bank location. For more information regarding the TN Community Initiative, call any Chamber of Commerce in Wilson County.
Coleman and Company here on a Thursday morning. We welcome you. Let me just mention Jeff Hallams is going to be here as my guest next week. We're going to talk about his open house that's scheduled for next Thursday, a week from today, from 5 to 8 p.m. It is FAM Essentials, and we'll be telling you all about that, but just a reminder ahead of time. And with me this morning from the City of Lebanon Gas Department, we have Julie Carr. She is the public awareness person there. But Jason Kuba is with us, the Tennessee 811 Area Liaison. And we need to talk about how 811 works. We just need really to get the whole 9 yards in here, and I'm going to depend on you to kind of inform us this morning. So take it away.
Sounds good. Well, Tennessee 811, we are the call center for anybody that's doing excavation in the state of Tennessee. We are the ones you contact to have those utilities marked before you begin that excavation. So in Tennessee, we have the Underground Utility Damage Prevention Act, or in simpler terms, the DIG law is what people refer to it as. But basically what that states...
The DIG law.
The DIG law, that's right.
I like that.
So basically what that states is if you're doing any type of excavation, moving of earth, or any other materials in or on the ground with mechanized equipment, you're considered to be excavating in the eyes of the law. And that requires you to make a call to 811 to have those utilities marked. So once you make that call to us, we notify all the utilities that are in the area of your excavation site, and they come out and they mark your yard up with the pretty colored paint and flags that you see all over the place. After you do that, you have 3 days that you have to wait to give those utilities to respond to that ticket. After that 3 days, we have what's called a positive response system. So all the utilities, once they go out and mark the facilities, they respond through positive response and say that they've responded to your ticket. So once you see that everybody has responded, you now have a live ticket and you're good to excavate.
Now, how many different people are we talking about here?
As far as the utilities?
Yes, the different. I guess each one has their own color marker.
Right. So there's a nationally recognized color code that's used. So anytime you see yellow paint, that's going to be your gas lines.
Okay.
Orange is any type of communications. Red's your electric. Water is blue. Sewer is going to be green. Pre-mark excavation is going to be white. And your survey markings will be pink. So that's recognized across the state as well as the country. That doesn't change.
Well, what if somebody has quite a big area, several acres? There's not likely, I'm thinking if you're talking about the back 40 or something and you want to dig there, is that still apply? Or, I mean, if you know there's no lines or anything underground there, well, what about that?
Right. Well, so, we run into that a lot where people say, well, I know where all the utilities are on my property. However, properties change hands. Utilities get placed every day. You may not know that something was placed back in the back 40 somewhere because you didn't see the work going on, or they used horizontal directional drill where you didn't see any equipment back there. They just drilled a line underneath the ground from 1,000 feet away, so you didn't even see them in there. So the best bet is to always go ahead and call. It's a free call. It doesn't cost you anything to make that call and have those utilities marked. So it's in your best interest to go ahead and have that call made so the utilities can get marked.
Well, now, if you don't do that and you have a bad result, is there some fines, or you can be? I think there's some obligations that you weren't expecting.
Correct, there is. So the law states if you're using mechanized equipment, you're required to make that call to 811. However, we suggest anybody that's doing any type of excavation make that call, because if you damage an underground facility and you don't make the call because you're only using hand tools, you can still be held liable for the repair costs, for whatever it costs to repair that line that you damaged. On the other side of things, we have enforcement in Tennessee, meaning that if somebody feels that somebody is not digging within the bounds of the law, they can file a complaint with the state, and they'll open up an investigation and determine whether or not you are in violation of the dig law. And if you are, there are some penalties that go along with that. So your first offense, if you're found in violation, is mandatory training. It's similar to a driving school. When you get a speeding ticket, you don't want to hit your insurance. You go through a 2-hour class, 3-hour class. Same thing, we talk about dig law for 3 hours. So it's a very exciting class. But we highly hope that nobody's in that class. But if you have a second or third case where somebody turns you in for a violation, then you start getting into civil penalties. So your violation could result in training and or civil penalties now with the new law that passed in July of this year, up to $10,000 in civil penalties for each incident.
So it's so much easier just to call before you dig.
Correct. The best bet is just to make that call. I do want to point out that there's a few little caveats within the law that you want to make sure you cover so that you're protected. So once you make the call and they come out and mark the facilities, you want to check that positive response, which you can do either through our website or our mobile app. Because if there's a utility that did not respond in positive response, the law states that you have to make a second notice call to us. So as long as you make that second notice call to us, then you cannot be held liable for that repair.
Mm-hmm. Is this happening an awful lot? Is it more? Is it getting worse? I guess a bigger problem for you and for the people that are involved.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, it does happen more often than we would like. I mean, obviously, our goal is to have zero damages in the state and in the country. However, that's not always the case. So there's a tool out there called the Damage Information Reporting Tool, or DIRT, which CGA hosts, which is the Common Ground Alliance. And they track the data. So in Tennessee, our utility members are required to report all of their damages to underground utilities to this reporting tool. And out of that reporting tool, we're able to run reports to see what is happening in the state, how many damages are occurring. And it's always a year behind for them to gather that data. So the latest data we have is from 2020. And the number of reports that have gone into that system from 2020 show that there was 8,203 unique damages in the state of Tennessee. And I can promise you that that is not all encompassing, and there's probably more than that not all of them were reported. So that's a lot of damages. And with the amount of work that's going on, the infrastructure bills that are being passed now, I just got an email yesterday. There's $697 million coming to the state of Tennessee for water specifically, to do improvements to their water system. So there's a lot of work going on. You can see the development everywhere, all the new businesses coming into town, the housing that's going up. So there's a lot of work going on. So it's very important that we do that work safely and have those utilities marked.
Is there ever a time when even the current utility people wouldn't know where all the particular lines are? Maybe something that happened years ago that they're not aware of?
There are situations like that occur. I prior to coming to 811, I spent many years in the underground locating industry. So I was on the other side of the fence and marking the utilities. And there are situations out there where, maybe the prints weren't up to date. Maybe they didn't have the most accurate data on their prints, saying that there was a line here, a line was put in and never got put onto their database. Maybe it's gas or water where they use a tracer wire because they're using plastic pipe that doesn't conduce signal. Maybe that tracer wire was broken, so they were unable to locate that. So you always want to work closely with your utilities. If you have a question about it, reach out to them. They're more than happy to help you try to expose that facility, because the last thing we want to happen is that utility to be damaged or somebody to get hurt.
Well, Julie Carr, I think you and Jeff and the people at the city thought it's important enough that Jason come out here and advise us. Is this a growing problem within the city of Lebanon?
Well, because, Lebanon's growing, so yes, with the houses that are going in, the construction that's going on, it's a struggle, and it shouldn't be. Contractors need to be more aware. We have less trouble with homeowners. Most homeowners do actually call in to 811. We want to prevent unnecessary damage, obviously, and like I said earlier, more than a third of our damages so far this year to our gas lines could have been preventable.
Yeah.
If they would called 811 and had the underground utilities marked.
What's the worst case scenario? I'm thinking there a possible explosion, loss of life, perhaps.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with gas. Like I said, in the locating industry, unfortunately, I saw a lot of those incidences. Where if you damage an underground gas line, you have a gas escaping into the atmosphere at that point. And any ignition source that may be around could cause that line to ignite, could cause an explosion. That gas is going to take the path of least resistance. If you cut a gas line and a sewer line, that gas goes up the sewer line into a home. Somebody flips on a light switch and that house goes up. So it's very dangerous, especially around the gas. To damage those things. And one thing I want to point out is, we talked about the new legislative updates that passed in July of this year. One of those was the creation of a damage notice ticket. So prior to July, the law required you, if you damaged an underground facility, to contact the utility district directly and then call 911 if there's a release of hazardous material. As of July, now you also have to contact 811 if you damage a underground facility.
Okay. Julie, I think there's something else that you want to remind everybody about this morning, and I've left you a little time here to do that.
I appreciate that. Yes, we have an upcoming, it's called the Goal Survey. It's a telephone survey that starts on Monday, and it's through the Federal Office of Pipeline Safety. We're required to develop and follow a written public awareness plan regarding pipeline safety and the safe use of natural gas. And we have multiple messages, one of those being 811. Also, if you smell gas, different messages like that we have to relay to customers and non-customers that live and work near our gas lines. So through this federal requirement as well, we have to assess periodically and measure whether the messages that we're putting out to our customers and non-customers are being received and how well they're being received. And so the GOAL survey, which stands for Gas Overall Awareness Level, starts Monday and runs through the 21st. Calls will be going out from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. If you see our local number, 615-443-2807, that is a gas department number. We're giving you a call, and please, it would help us tremendously if you would take this very short survey. It lasts about 3 to 5 minutes, just asking questions in general about your gas awareness. And these responses really help us improve our public awareness program and safety education programs here locally.
And it's not a telemarketer.
It is not a telemarketer. Please
Got about
answer the phone.
30 seconds. Jason, if you would kind of wrap up your message this morning in 30 seconds.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, the main thing is if you're going to do any type of excavation, to call 811, get those utilities marked to keep you or the contractors working safe.
Free call.
It's a free call. If you have any questions regarding the dig law or just want some more information, feel free to visit our website at tn811.com. My contact information is on there under the liaisons. So look me up, give me a call if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help you.
Well, you've had a wealth of information for us this morning. Thanks for driving over from Gallatin. And
Thanks for having me.
What we've learned. Jason Kuba with the Tennessee 811 area. He is the Tennessee 811 area liaison. And Julie Carr, Lebanon Gas public awareness person. Thank you for being with us as well. And that's part one of Coleman and Company. Hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota, Exmark, large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. The #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a stalled vehicle in a terrible spot. It's 40 eastbound right at the M Hill Pike overpass. That's 40 east just past Fessler's. I don't know why we're having so many problems over here in this area this morning. This is like the second or third thing that we've had happen in the last hour over here on 40 eastbound. Again, just past Fessler's. 200 block of Craighead. They're still working that accident. 65 northbound. It's going to be right near Harding Place. We're checking on the crash in that area. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at gatlinburgwinecellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and our vehicle purchase program has been a huge success. If you got something you want to sell, bring it to Bates Ford for a cash offer. Even if you owe money, we'll pay it off and give you the difference. And on the service side, we got some great deals. We got the Works program, which includes an oil change and a tire rotation, the cheapest oil change in town, the cheapest battery in town for $134 installed on most vehicles. That's Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat.
Hi, I'm Mayor Rick Bell.
And I'm Sarah Haston, your Economic Development Director for the City of Lebanon.
And we're asking each of you to shop Lebanon this Christmas season.
Are you ready for the hustle and bustle, Mayor?
Absolutely. 'Tis the season, and I'm ready to get everyone checked off my list by shopping Lebanon and shopping small.
Well, it's definitely important to support our Lebanon business community.
Indeed. Our Lebanon businesses are the backbone of our community, and they support us all year.
That's right. Let's show some local love at Christmas. We are asking everyone to commit to give back by shopping your local retailers here in Lebanon.
Have a Merry Christmas from all of us at the City of Lebanon.
The Titans are back from the bye week and ready for the stretch run, as this Sunday they host the Jacksonville Jaguars. The award-winning Titans countdown begins from Nissan Stadium at 11. Then Mike Keith and Dave McGinnis call all the action of Titans and Jags. From Nashville, kickoff set for 12:02.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Ball Plumbing, the Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas and Tennessee 811. Call before you dig.
This is Titans Radio, 98.9 WANT.
Today's forecast calls for temperatures in the mid-60s with bright sunny skies. On Thursday, more sunny weather is on the way with highs climbing into the upper 60s. For Friday, skies will be a mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 60s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two here on a Thursday morning. We're ready to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living, and Heather Sadler Gallagher is on the phone. Heather, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you?
I am doing just well.
Well, we want to hear all about it this morning.
All about it. Well, we're trying to stay a little warm over there on the Pavilion Cove. But we've got our Christmas tree up, and we did a Christmas tree lighting with some carolers, and it just feels so good to somewhat be back to normal and let people in and enjoy these holidays. So we're ready to. We were in the Christmas parade this weekend, so my residents just had a great time. They even somehow in the midst of all of that, they spotted my little girls on the side of the road. So I was really impressed. So
well, I bet they were excited.
They had a wonderful time. They said, "Can we do that again?" I was like, "Absolutely." So our activity director, Valerie Chaffin, did a wonderful job getting everybody ready for that. Next year, they decided they want to step up their game and be a little bit more creative. They got some ideas. So.
Well, I think maybe today, Heather, we ought to tell everybody where you are first instead of waiting until last. That's usually one of the last things we talk about is how to get to the pavilion. But if you know where, if you know where the hospital is, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, instead of going to the emergency room, turning left there, go one block further and take a left. And that is Medical Center Drive, and you're right there down on the right, 1409 Medical Center Drive, right?
That's right. We call it a campus over there because we have our assisted living, memory care, and then we also have our skilled nursing and rehab and long-term care buildings. So we're just a little campus on that cove over there. And I know I've been saying it for a while, but we got some more stuff coming. And it looks like that stuff's going to come sooner than later. So I'm hoping in January I can start sharing some positive news about some groundbreaking of our independent living.
Well, you're kind of keeping us in suspense. You've said very little other than it's coming, and I'm anxious to find out what you're going to do myself. I've got an idea, but we'll see. In the meanwhile, you are going to make it through December, and I guess probably a pretty happy time for your people there.
Right now it is. It really is, and we've got some people that are moving in, and I've got some people that I got one lady that's moving back to Missouri to be closer to her daughter, so she's excited. So I have some movement coming off my wait list, but what that does mean is then we'll just draw from the wait list. So holidays are a real important time in seniors' lives. Because a lot of their families come in and kind of see what they're doing that they don't normally see throughout the year because they haven't been there, especially during the pandemic. So we'll start getting a lot of calls during the holiday season that they were there in Thanksgiving and Christmas, and just we see mom or we see dad or grandma or grandpa, and they'll start calling and asking questions, and that's perfectly normal. Give us a call. Like I said, if we're not the fix in senior living and you just got questions and some direction, we'll be glad to point you in the right direction.
All right, and that telephone
one of the calls
number.
I got the other day was I opened the refrigerator and there was a phone in the refrigerator. So they weren't just keeping it cold. That just happens to be some dementia, and we just assure them to reassure and redirect and be positive about it. And some of those things are completely normal. So give us a call and let us talk you through it or reassure you through the process, and we'll be glad to help if senior living is what you're needing.
615-444-5556. Relatively easy number to remember. 444-5556. Well, one of the things about it, whenever you do have an opening and you go to your waiting list, it gets one shorter, I guess, but then you may have 2 or 3 more that's wanting to get on there. That's kind of the way it works, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how it works. We gave 3 tours this week, so which is good for us. But I always tell people if they're needing it, sooner than later, if they'll give us a call and kind of get on that list so we can work with you when the time is ready, and we're ready.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to wrap it up this morning. Thanks for being with us, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
That sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Have a great day.
Heather Sadler-Gallagher, she is the administrator and marketing director for the Pavilion Senior Living, again located at 1409 Medical Center Drive here in Lebanon. Heather does have a wealth of information. She's always glad to share it with you. If she can't help you directly at the Pavilion, she might point you in the right direction another way. And again, you can reach her at 615-444-5556. Well, we are ready for part 2. We're getting ready for part 2 this morning. Somebody dropped a microphone, if you're wondering what the noise was. But I want to welcome a trio of people here this morning. And we'll start out with Rick Smith, who is the instigator of this all. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And how are you?
I'm great. I mean, it's a great time of year. We got a great topic this morning, so we're looking forward to talking about baseball.
We've got John Pope here with us today. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
We can hear you. Rick, I'm not sure we heard you too well there. We may have to call Billy back in here. Additionally, we have with us this morning
Dusty Jones with the City of Lebanon.
I knew the Jones part. I'd forgotten the first name, but I've seen you a few times. How are you?
I'm doing great.
What role are you playing in all of this?
I'm the Assistant Parks and Recreation Director, and we work directly with Lebanon Youth Baseball and softball and all that stuff for all the leagues and stuff.
Okay, Rick, try it again.
Okay. Good morning, Coleman.
Hey, I think you're coming in loud and clear now. Good morning to you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Coleman.
You staying busy?
Christmas for all, Lebanon Youth Baseball, Scouts. Yeah, I'm staying busy.
The last time you were here, we talked about the Christmas for all, and you told me then you wanted to, sometime in December, do one on baseball. You have to start this early, I guess, to get everything in place.
I think we open registration, December 15th?
Next Wednesday. It's hard to believe.
Baseball is a 12-month out of the year operation these days. We go at it pretty hard.
Well, you've got really a great thing going here, I think. And when you've taken this over and consolidated, we've talked about a number of times, it seems to have worked well. And it seems that everybody's working together. And not that you weren't before, but it was kind of two different organizations and a little competition maybe there for players or that sort of thing. Now it's more like one big happy family, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, once we brought the two leagues together, and believe it or not, that was almost 10 years ago. It's crazy to think that that's been that long, but yeah, it has been a success for sure.
Yeah. Well, Dusty, comment on that a little bit. You've been around for a while, and you've seen a lot of things come and go here. Has this been pretty positive all the way?
Oh, it's been great. Working with John and Rick and the board of Lebanon Youth Baseball, we couldn't ask for a better group to work with. Also, softball, we work with them, and soccer, and all those people. But baseball's really grown the last few years, and we're getting more and more. And this year, I think they're going to take over our T-ball program. The City of Lebanon's always run the T-ball program, and John and Rick come back to us, I guess, last month about running the T-ball program. So we're going to let them have the T-ball program.
Well, I've got to ask, what's, it's like you had your hands full. What do you want more?
Well, it's not for our benefit. We just think it was just kind of confusing which league was doing what, where, when, and we think this is just going to make it easier for everybody. Well, it takes a little pressure off the city, off the recreation department. They got a lot to do as it is. So.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know how many people you have if you need more, but in your group, you've had quite good participation and a lot of help, in other words, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
And people have certain assignments. I know somebody heads it up. John, you've been one of the leaders all along. Rick, I think you have too.
Yeah, John's president of the board, chairman of the board, whatever you want to call it. I run sponsorships and sales, and I'm the one that goes up and begs for money. So, yeah, whatever it takes to get the job done.
Well, talk about the organization and the expansion here a little bit.
Yeah, we like you said, we've got a great board. We've had a few retire off the board lately, and so we are actually adding to the board of directors currently, and we're talking to a lot of good community-minded people to join us, baseball-minded people, and with this addition of T-ball, just like we were talking a minute ago when we joined the two baseball leagues almost 10 years ago, and the success that has had, we think that we'll see the same success with T-ball adding them, and at this point. Now, every baseball player age 4 to 12 will be under the same umbrella, Lebanon Youth Baseball. So we think that's important. We think that's going to continue to add strength to our organization, and
like Dusty was saying, sometimes there's confusion on what league and what time to sign up, and that's the big message today is twofold. One, we're taking T-ball. We're going to run T-ball, and that registration will start next week with the other ages, and we want to get that message out to the parents that, hey, the 4 and 5-year-olds that are going to be playing T-ball this spring need to sign up beginning next week and online.
You said the 15th, right? And that's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, right. December 15th, online.
Yeah. Is that strictly online?
It is. LebanonYouthBaseball.net and online registration. And again, we run baseball in the spring for free. So a lot of these out-of-staters that are moving in, especially these Californians, they are shocked to find out that we run free baseball in Tennessee, and they're happy to find that out.
Yeah, obviously. Well, one reason is you have good sponsors. Another reason is you know the value of a dollar, I'm sure, and you don't waste a lot of money. I'm guessing, but I think I'd be right there. And
yeah, our board of directors meets once a month at Cracker Barrel, and we haven't yet to pay. About the only person gets paid is if we pay each other's bill. So nothing comes out of our money for the league.
Dusty, anything you want to say about? We need to go to a break here. Make it short, but that sounds like they've got a good thing going.
They have got a good thing going. My kid come through the league, and he's graduated through the league now, and they do a great job, Coleman. And you won't find many people anymore that want to dedicate their time like John and Rick and the board. People just don't want to do that anymore. If it ain't in the interest for themselves, they don't want to give their time up.
But it's a big help. We're talking about now 4 through what? 12?
4 through 12.
4 through 12. Okay, with that, we'll take our break. More coming up on Coleman and Company here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot's here with a stalled vehicle. It's in a terrible spot. It's 40 eastbound just past Fessler's. We've had several problems over here this morning, right in the same spot. Not sure what's going on over here. Again, it's slow go. 40 eastbound just past Fessler's. Heavy traffic trying to get out of Mount Juliet right now, or coming through Mount Juliet on I-40 headed towards Nashville. Prince's Hot Chicken, now available for catering. Check them out this holiday season at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas and Santa's Village is back for their 12th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season. With over 2 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes, you'll experience the dazzling sights and sounds of the Dancing Lights of Christmas from inside the comfort of your own vehicle. And for the first time ever, helicopter rides are available where you can see the lights dance from the sky. The Dancing Lights of Christmas and Santa's Village at the Wilson County Fairgrounds, 5 p.m. nightly, including all holidays. More info at thedancinglightsofchristmas.com.
Everyone is busy, and you certainly have more to think about than insurance. THW Insurance understands. As an independent agent, THW offers coverage from select companies to make sure you have the right protection for your home, auto, and business. One of these fine companies is Westfield Insurance. Contact us today so you can get back to what really matters, you and your family. Call THW Insurance at 615-443-3849.
I guess it is a Thursday morning. We're talking baseball, Lebanon Youth Baseball this morning with our chairman, John Pope. We have Rick Smith with us this morning, who makes all the money for the organization. We have Dusty Jones representing the city. Dusty, I want to get back to you for a minute because, I mean, you're greatly involved in all of this, but you've spent a long time with the city doing pretty much what you're doing, haven't you?
Yes, sir. It's been around 20 years.
Wow.
21 years, to be exact. Been at the Recreation Department the whole time. Worked under Alex Bueller for a few years, and then, of course, William Porter's now the director, and I'm the assistant director, and it's been good.
What are your primary duties? You don't do the same thing every day, I don't guess, but there's a lot going on in the Recreation Department.
Oh, yeah. We're extremely busy all the time. My duties are make sure all the ball fields are took care of and the leagues are running like they're supposed to be running. And also, I've been running all our programs for years. We run the T-ball program until now that we've gave it to Lebanon Youth Baseball, flag football, and currently we got basketball going on.
So you've got something nearly year-round then?
Oh, it's constant. It never ends.
You involved with the soccer?
We do. We just take care of the fields and all that type stuff for them, but they actually have their own Wilson United that actually runs it.
Yeah, but just taking care of the fields, there's more fields to take care of now than there's ever been. It's grown over the years.
There is. We have, I guess, 3 soccer fields over there, 11 baseball, softball fields, and then we got the Don Fox Community Park, the South Hartman Park across from the high school, and now we have the Carroll Bend Park being built.
Right.
Now,
well, let me ask you one other thing. We'll get back to more of the subject at hand, but one thing that has bothered me a little bit, the fact that the Babe Ruth baseball, there hasn't been Babe Ruth baseball, I think, for 2 years.
2 years
now.
right.
Of course, I know we've got the travel teams, and there's a lot that want to play and do that, and that probably caused pretty much the death of Babe Ruth. But what's that field going to be?
We have several travel teams renting it out, and along with the Veterans Field, the junior highs use it some as well. And there's talk that later on that we may do something as far as 13 and 14-year-olds in the future for those 2 fields.
Okay. All right. But primarily, Rick, you and John are concerned about the 4 through 12-year-old people. Now, this has mostly been boys, I guess. But what do girls play at all? Do girls
can play. They're welcome to come and play. We have no problem with that whatsoever. We don't have a lot of girls, but yeah, they're welcome.
But most of them probably play softball, and we've got a good softball program that entices them. So, but I can remember even in Little League years ago seeing one girl who was on a team there. And then that's fine if they want to play. If they're good enough, let them go.
Yeah, they're welcome to join us.
Yeah. Okay, but of course, two things, as John said earlier, that you're wanting to let everybody know this morning. You are taking over the Lebanon Youth Baseball is taking over the T-ball program that the city has been running exclusively. You've been doing that all by yourself, Dusty, right? I mean, the city has.
The city has.
And now the Lebanon Youth Baseball will take that under their wing. So you're talking about 4 through 12-year-olds.
Correct.
And sign up is the other thing that's coming up next week.
Starts next Wednesday, the 15th, runs till Saturday, February 19th. All the registration's online. It is free to all players. And
that's almost a 2-month period to get signed up.
It is. It is. And it's good. I mean, I wish people would sign up earlier, but, you know, a big portion of the sign-ups happened the last week. It just makes our job a little harder. But
we're all habits of procrastination to some extent.
That's true. That's true. Which is one reason we want to come on the Coleman Walker Show and get the message out. So,
well, no doubt you are excited, and I can understand it's going to be a little bit more work for probably both of you and some on your committee or whatever, but to have all of this together and avoid maybe some of the confusion you've had before, maybe the part you do in selling, Rick, is a little bit easier since you're all together. Although you've got more to sell.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up real quickly. We are a free league. We don't charge. We provide hats, jerseys, pants. We don't provide underwear and socks and shoes. I mean, that's up to the parents, but we take care of just about everything else. And that's not cheap. Our sponsorship's what keeps us going. Our sponsorships, our coupon books, and our signs on our fields. And we're taking up maybe 15 more teams. We need more sponsors to make this happen. Mm-hmm. It may be free to the kids, but it's not free to do. So we've got to get a lot of people in here to help us out. And I'm fixing to send a letter out to all the people in the chamber with some other people that we're looking for help with that. So it's definitely a needed operation.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what's available here now. A team sponsorship, and that could be T-ball. It could be a little league team.
It can be anything from the 4 to 12-year-olds. We've got teams in each of those categories, and they all need sponsors. I mean, WANT sponsors and has sponsored for years, but we're losing a couple. I mean, we lost Sunset. Sunset's been with us for almost since the get-go in 1955.
Yeah.
And so we're losing a few people, and we got to replace those people, those long-time sponsors, with somebody else.
But you can be a team sponsor.
You can be a team sponsor.
But I know you have outfield signs.
We got outfield signs, and we sell coupon books that we design for people in the local community and we sell them for a great price. They're $10 a piece. We'll have those at the first of the season. It's a great money raiser for us. And to have a little 4-year-old kids out selling coupon books, yeah, we're kind of looking forward to that.
I don't think they're going to get many no's.
Well, there's quite an opportunity, quite an opportunity here for somebody to, and hopefully you've got something that's within their budget,
Right.
and the more you can get, of course. You do have concession stands, I guess, that help a little bit. I guess you make a little money out of them, or you wouldn't do them.
Yeah, concession stands make money, thank goodness. But the problem there is getting people to help us with the concession stands. Now we require the players' parents to participate, but at the same time, we could use more help.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way it worked with the Lions Club at one time when I was there, and that we did require those parents to come in there because we were a little bit shorthanded. But if they want to play, they don't have to pay, but there's a little obligation there to help. Yeah. At least you hope they feel that way.
We hope so. Yes.
Yeah. We got about 4.5 minutes. Left anything out, John? Anything else you want to tell?
Well, Coleman, I take this opportunity since we're on air to thank Dusty and William Porter for everything that they do for our league. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, it's a partnership between Porter and Dusty and the city with our organization, and we would not be able to run the league the way we do and without their support and the way they do things. And we have great fields, great baseball fields. Whenever we have tournaments and people come in from out of town, they love our facilities and fields, and that's because of Dusty and Porter and their team.
Well, I have visited in some faraway places just a little bit, enough to appreciate what we have here. I just don't think you're going to find any better kept fields overall than what we have right here at Lebanon, Tennessee.
Yeah, we just recently repainted a bunch of the buildings, so the park looks good. Thanks to Wilson Bank and Trust, they put up new signs. We got new scoreboards in all the fields, so that looks, electronic scoreboards, wireless scoreboards. You can sit in the stands and keep score. So there's a lot of improvements. But once again, back to Dusty and Porter and all that, they do a tremendous job for us, and it's hard to express how much they help our field and how much they help our situation. We couldn't do it without them.
Well, that's a feather in your cap, Justin.
Well, I appreciate it, but that's our job. That's what we enjoy doing.
Well, it is, but you've got a budget. You've got and sometimes that grass can grow awfully fast.
It does, and like I said, we've had a good crew. Charles Brown and Jason Skurlock, they've been with us too for a long time, along with several others, and they work hard and they know how everything works. And working with John and Rick and girls softball and soccer, it's a good working relationship with
One
everybody.
other thing we might mention here, we had some damage from a tornado a couple of years ago. I guess it was 2 years ago this March. Is all that
Everything's pretty much done besides some paving that we got to do at girls softball. But the tornado was kind of a blessing in disguise because we also got new lights in the whole ballpark. LED lights, and you don't have to worry about somebody flipping a switch anymore and waiting 20 minutes for the lights to come back on, because now with the LED, you can cut them on and off, and they come right back on.
Well, that's good to know, too. Well, I guess we can't emphasize enough the two main things you come out here to talk about this morning, but Lebanon Youth Baseball is taking over T-ball, and that was 4 to what?
4 to 5.
Oh, okay.
4 and 5 year olds.
4 and 5 year olds.
4 and 5 year olds. You will sign up just like the Little League does. And by the way, do we still have some Little League and some Dixie Youth?
We do. We run Little League. Really, 10 years old and under is all under the Little League sanction, and then 11 and 12 is under the Dixie Youth sanction.
What we can brag a little bit on their accomplishments in the last several years. There's been some really good tournament teams that's gone far.
I think our number with the virus, we've not had postseason in 20. No,
yeah, 20.
20. And so, but we had it this year in 21 postseason play. So prior to that break from postseason, we had a running, maybe I think it was 4 out of 6 years state titles for the 12-year-olds. This year in 21, we had a coach pitch 8-year-old team placed third in the state tournament for Little League. So yeah, we're seeing still a lot of success.
And the money that you spend advertising, helping out here, you're going to get good exposure of what you do, right, Rick?
Yes,
Got to get that out.
Great exposure. It's and like I said, we're free. It's the people of Lebanon and Wilson County that make it happen, and they have since 1955. And it's in our charter that we can't charge for play in the spring. So we've managed to keep that going all these years, and hopefully we can do it another 65, 70 years.
Thanks to people like you who keep it going. Dusty Jones, thanks for being with us. Good to see you. Rick, thanks for getting this set up, and John Pope, who I also call Pope John sometimes. thanks for being with us, all of you. That's it for a Thursday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Until then, I wish you a tremendous day.